A plane never crashes because just one thing happens. There's so many backup systems that a plane needs. There are several things have to go wrong for a plane to crash. And I think several things have to go right for moments to be right. White folk and money, it's a good thing they have it because they can't handle it, man. White folk get nervous when a bill collector calls, don't they? Jesus, a bill collector's on the phone. What are we going to say? They done fucked up and gave black folk collar ID now. First thing we do is run over and check the display, huh? Kings of Comedy was like, it was a perfect storm. It was the right time, the right tone in the country. But I'm not shocked. It's almost like, when a runner trains really hard and he wins the race, you don't hear him shocked that he won. He was ready for it. And I think that was the perfect time. All of us were prepared. We were professional. We were ready. And it just so happened that the time was right. So I didn't want it to be my thriller, like my greatest thing, and I was very young. And so it's something I look at very pleasantly, but it isn't the end-all, be-all for me. It's a brick in a very big wall. I look at it as a blessing that I was ready to receive. The clearest point in my career when things started to really be consistent was when I spent more time honing my point of view than caring what people thought. And I think that has been invaluable to me. So if that would qualify as a turning point, it would probably be more of an internal kind of mechanism where I just have cared less and less what the result would be and focus more on the intent.
How you doing, man? I'm gonna leave your ass alone. I know you got a gun. This motherfucker probably only here to use us for an alibi. I didn't do shit. I was at the comedy show.
I don't think people rehabilitate as much as they run out of wind. You get tired of running into walls. What happens to a lot of people when you're young, I think in any field, is you do things that you think people want. It's like somebody asks you for a sandwich and they say, I just want meat and cheese, and you bring mustard. If you like that sandwich that way, you like it with wheat bread and pickles. But no, you give them what they want. And I think ultimately what they want is the clearest path to your insight.
I ain't never been to Cuba, but that got to be a fucked up place. Cubans will leave Cuba without a boat. Just walk down to the beach. I'm leaving today. You don't have a boat? I don't need boat. I leave today.
Unapologetic began the kind of genesis for me. There's a false modesty in this country where, and some people call it political correctness, where you don't say things that people think because it makes them have to be aware that they think it. We all have ways that we function, and we know that somebody's told us inherently that they weren't right or appropriate, but oftentimes they're the very thing that is the most human connection. And so I think people have an aversion to that.
They will float on anything, won't they? I turned on the news, saw 600 Cubans float on a Haitian dude. Ain't that a bitch? They got to stay, he had to go right back.
I remember when we were, Don Imus had happened. And I told a joke on Jay Leno and everybody got mad.
Don Imus got in trouble, man. Don Imus, I don't even know why somebody would take him seriously. That motherfucker looked like a werewolf that didn't finish changing. Like he was just about to turn into a werewolf, but the moon went down and shit. Where's my cowboy hat?
People were protesting me and telling me I should apologize. And I just felt like that it's silly for somebody to apologize for a way that they feel. And I remember being a child and you would have a fight at school and the teacher would say, now shake hands and make up. But that made them feel better because you knew after the school you guys were going to get it on again. And I think that those are things that we do to make people feel better as opposed to, oftentimes if I didn't want to have an argument, I would apologize to my wife. If I wanted something to be over, I would just kind of acquiesce early. In those days, I don't think they serviced me or made the point or cleared anything up. It's like a doctor will tell you if he gives you a course of medicine and you don't finish it all, that very thing comes right back. It bounces right back. So I think I try to finish my medicine.
Only cool thing about being a black comedian is you get to say shit other people can't say. That's the fucking deal. But that's it. That's the only advantage, man. But if y'all want, we can switch places.
And I'm hoping that I continue to get clearer and clearer to be, an undiluted version of my level of truth is what I hope for. I think I've grown a lot. I think I'm as good a stand-up as I've ever been. I think I'm clear. I think that one of the greatest compliments I get is when people come back and they can See, I mean, it's not too different than growing up and you would put that mark on the wall to see where you were. And then a year later, you mark it on the wall again. And if the line is higher, you grew, and if it ain't, you didn't. This is D.L. Hughley, and you're watching Real Black. Not that fake one.